Hello, welcome to Animal Audit Corner. Now, you all know I do stories about the former members of Scientology and the other advocates that has support for them. We are going to have a look at their lives of former Scientology, former Scientologists, and their other advocates who act. Yesterday on Growing Up in Scientology, Aaron had a story about a 12-year-old named like William Good, Jessica Palmadessa, Confident Chris, and Chris without a Hellcat, and the rest. This kid is really witty and smart. Those Scientologists didn't know. Some of those Scientologists are dumber than I give them credit for, especially the woman sitting behind the desk when James walked up to her. Lauren has a clip of James going into the org. Let's check it out. Let's try this again. This is what we got when Aaron shared his clip with everyone. I couldn't find this boy's stream, so I had to go along with Aaron's. Really wasn't thinking, was it his siblings? Because if it was, you know how teenagers get. They could get rebellious. But even so, come on, you have to. How can his parents just let him go to a place like that? If that was the case, we just don't know whether his parents are driving or a sibling or whoever was driving him to that org was thinking. So, all right. Was it his parents? Could have been whoever drove him wasn't thinking, like I just said. Is his spyware ready to use? Well, he has the spyware on. Okay. While he was in the test center, he actually put it on in his car. Driver went up to the org and pulled aside to the curb. James got out of the car, then walked into that building. Then walked up to the desk, and there would be a big woman sitting in the sitting in the back of that desk. So at this moment, she doesn't have a clue that he actually had a spyware on him. The woman has him use sanitizer, and that the sanitizer that he was using was a D7 product D7, which is the one that they use during 2021 when COVID hit. And we also know that Scientology is so germophobic. It's unbelievable. Because not only they're afraid of touching anything, some of them are touching it, but some of them are actually wearing masks. They're so germophobic that they're taking those kinds of desperate attempts to think they're protecting themselves from germs. Now, we come across germs every day. We know it's worse now, but worrying about it is not going to make it go away any faster. If it goes away faster, that's great. But right now, we have vaccinations every year, so it's not as worse as before. When he also asked if he can take the tour. She called up for one of the other Scientologists to give him a tour. Of course, that's what it looked like to me. I don't know what it looked like to Aaron, since he was in that organization from the age of 12 to 26. So he would know better than me. Then she brought him over to a TV screen to listen to the story about L. Ron Hubbard and his life, and then when he created Scientology. Then he grabbed out his phone and she started to yell at him. She just jumped and said, "Oh." And then she started yelling at him when when he actually turned on the recorder, even though it was already on. It was cute. But if he didn't do that, he would have been in the clear. He had it until he actually was pressing the. Then she started to chase him out the door, and he started to run out. Then he ran all the way to the car and got in. Then whoever was driving the car drove right. Each and every Scientologist would think that children are adults in a small person's body, as you would all know. She thinks he's an adult, which is, should she ask him a question like that? Why should she ask a question? Well, she did ask that question in a clip. I didn't get to that. Well, yeah, he did mention that, but why ask a question like that when it's pointless? Think that he's an adult in that small person's body. It's pointless to even ask. And when he was in there, she asked him, of course, how old he was, which is pointless. Usually they have cameras located all over their org, and they're complaining that he's taken the picture of him. Now that is just plain stupid. Taking pictures of them, then why on earth they can't take pictures of you? And plus, not only that, they turned the tables on them and started taking pictures of them. So karma came back at them. Because in general, if somebody does something good or bad, that would be karma. And in this case, her karma is not a good one. It's neither is Scientology. Tom Cruise doesn't like it either. Neither one of them do. So They had the term, "What goes around comes around." Yeah, she asked him where his parents were, and they are so desperate to well, okay, now Aaron, when they finally got to the test center and they were there for a bit before I think it was Shannon asked him this question. This is crazy. They're so desperate for members that when she went out, she asked him where his parents were. That's how desperate they are, and it doesn't look like those people are gonna walk in, and yesterday, they did have a bunch of people walk in and join. But now, since the protest movement took place and William Good started filming them, it took the world by storm. He started that whole movement with turning the tables on Scientology and started so and now they're seen as a joke because guess what? They are now a tourist attraction. They are a Isn't that something? They're not getting any business, but they have people standing outside and watching them. They're no longer getting the business, but they surely are a sideshow. So, yeah, she asked him where his parents were, and they are so desperate to get new members that she went ahead and asked him that question. Yeah, they are that desperate. I think deep down inside, they know that they're not going to get any business. They are at the test center. This is, well, it was funny. All those people were just standing there, as you know. And at the same time, they were booing. Well, one of them did. And they were just watching them, but they didn't want to go in. Some people would go in to check out what the big, huge joke was and then walked out. Some of them walked out with books and some of them didn't. But even though they bought the book, some of them still thought they would be a big joke too. But yeah, they just walk in there because they're a little curious, but then they think this is just too funny. So they walk out. Yeah, they're a sideshow. They're no longer getting members. And that test center is a sideshow for freaks. And at the same time, I do feel sorry for them, but at the same time, they do make it for me and everybody else to feel sorry for them because they are trapped in there and trying to get out. Some make it out, and then some are still stuck in there. Yeah, sometimes they do get obnoxious and they do make it hard for us to get sympathetic on them, but they are. It's sad that they're still ever was in the car with him that was driving wasn't clearly thinking. You can't take a child to why take a child to a place like that? Now now whoever was in this car with him, you know what? You're not thinking. Now, is it the kid's parents? Is it the kid's sibling? Or was it someone off on the side of the street? We just don't know because we didn't see their face and they didn't identify themselves. So who knows who's taken them to that? It's ridiculous. If it's their parents, how in the world you letting him go into a place like that one? And if it's not their parents and it's their older sibling who is a teenager, I mean, yeah, usually teenagers get rebellious. They did it not once but twice. Or did he take the bus when he went down Hollywood Boulevard? Or was the car there waiting for him? Who knows? But clearly somebody wasn't thinking at all when they were letting him go to those two places. Then both James and whoever was in that car headed over to the test center. Yeah, it's unbelievable that people do that. I'm still in shock and I won't stop talking about it. But in conclusion, William Good, Jessica Pomadessa, Confident Chris, Chris without a Hellcat, and James would get through to them, that whole operation would close. They're already a sideshow, so what's the point of keeping it open? They're trying to hide, and not only they're trying to hide, they are trying to recruit while hiding in the same time, and it's clearly William and Jessica are also checking up on them, and young James is there. It's unbelievable. Then, you know what? Still at the end, David Miscavige would be more desperate than Osa or any of his staff. Oh boy. And finally, they have people leaving the organization and they are not getting too many members. They all left, decided never to come back. And there are materials, Jenna Miscavige, as you know, and there's another book by Mark Hadley called, and it tells his account in Scientology. And that's what he did. He blew for good. That's what they say when they refer to people left or is on the run. They said they blown. All right. All in all, Scientology's number continued to drop. And they are so desperate to get people in. The Scientologists who work there full time for less wages are getting desperate. Yeah. It is just so unbelievable that they get paid that much money, $50 a week after taxes, 47. a kid at a burger joint who works part-time would make more than that. You know what? At the end, they're still trapped because science that they don't need to leave. And then at the end, sometimes they wind up stuck in there. And some of them leave by committing suicide with mental illness, which is the reason why, of course, I keep saying it and saying it and saying it, is one of the reasons why I am, excuse me again, I am streaming. It's because I am tired of people picking. L. Ron Hubbard had real serious mental health issue. And he's referring to people being thrown away. When he said that, he included. Okay. Now, as you know, today is usually protests, the Clearwater crew today, Friday, is out protesting. Are they there? Check it out. Type in, let's see, SPTV, anti-Scientology, and find out. Or look through the list because it will be there. And let's see, what else is there? Yeah, I am still writing letters to one of my projects. I'm just too slow doing it. But yes, I am. That's my project. I can't tell you what it is because it's not really definite. And I don't know what the people are going to say about it. So just hang in there and I'll definitely let you know. So I'm not going to mention the organization right now because what if it doesn't take place? But at the same time, I'm confident that it will. But until then, I'm going to think it's going to happen. But if not, then that's another story. But for now, I'm going to say when it happens, you're going to know about it. And if I don't hear from the SPTV Foundation about it, then I will call them, and I don't care how far they are. I sent another letter to Miss Kim. I didn't find her yet. I will send her another one seeing when she's going to actually come. But you like my program, my stream? Buy me a coffee. It's located at the link below. Well, it's live right now, but it's definitely buy me a coffee if you feel I earned it. Hit the like, press subscribe, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow and Sunday for my 2 cooking segments. Tomorrow I'm gonna be making dinner, and you guys, I'm gonna give you a recipe. So, see you tomorrow.